starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for being here. Always a pleasure to be here together, and I'm glad that we're here again. Another week awaits, more stories coming your way. Thank you so much for joining in wherever you are. I am glad to be coming to you live today from Oakland. Thank you so much for joining in and welcome. I hope that if you're on your summer break, you're enjoying it, and if your school district is still going, hopefully your summer break starts soon. Thank you so much for joining in, and for all those in the rest of the world, other parts of the world, I hope that you are well too, and indeed I hope that you have your holidays sprinkled along as you go through the weeks. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time, and welcome. And we do have another amazing book coming back to Story Time after a while, and this one is LUCA'S Special Blanket. Yes, this one, A Gift of Love from Grandma, and it is written by Deniese and illustrations by Stella. Thank you so much for joining in, and I hope that Dennis, you're okay out there in Uganda. Thank you so much for joining in. Glad you're here for Story Time. Glad everybody's here to join us. If you're here live, thank you so much for joining in. Please do let us know that you're here so we indeed can say hi to you and your loved ones. And of course, if you're joining us later for the recordings, please do the same. Let us know you were here so indeed we can say hi to you next time. Thank you so much for being here, and let us know how it is where you are. I hope that you had a great weekend. What did you do? I had a very packed Saturday. Then my Sunday was much more mellow. It was a bit more work just at home, so it was nice to have the two very different days this weekend. Thank you so much for joining in. If you're in the Bay, I hope you're ready today. I know your Warriors are playing, so enjoy that basketball game, and of course Boston being the other team in that. Thank you so much for joining in, and welcome to Story Time. Get ready for a story, get comfortable, get cozy. We asked with LUCA'S Blanket today. Thank you so much for joining in, and this one is A Gift of Love from Grandma. Thank you so much for joining in, and every time I read this book, it just reminds me too of just how special grandmas can be, and including my own Grandma Salia. Love her to bits, and every time I just read this book, it just reminds me of those special memories together. Thank you so much for joining in. To all the grandmothers out there, we're sending you extra love today, extra hugs to you. Thank you for being here, and welcome to Story Time, everybody. Let us see who is with us this morning and ready to enjoy a wonderful story. Good morning to you, Pamela Courtney. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining in. Braylon and Chad out in Nakitosh, Louisiana. Thank you so much for joining us, and welcome. I hope that you had a good weekend, and indeed I hope that you enjoyed today's book. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely love it. Thank you indeed. And Pamela Courtney, Braylon and Chad, How is the weather today where you are? How are you doing? How was your weekend? And indeed, I hope that you are ready for this wonderful story that we do have here together. Thank you so much for joining us out in Nakitosh, Louisiana. Thank you indeed for being here. Good morning to you, Rikia. How are you doing? You're joining us from Canada today in Vancouver. Thank you so much for joining in and just came back from Alaska. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Rikia. I always love that you get in your travels. Betty, I hope that you're enjoying those travels. Indeed, I love Vancouver. If you have time there, yes, indeed, do go to the Richmond area as well. There's lots of great Chinese food that I got to have out there. And yes, I hope that you visit Victoria Island too while you're there. Thank you so much for joining in. A great place indeed. Loved it out there. The Sunshine Coast is just so beautiful. If you've not been and you have the means, please do take a trip up there. Thank you so much for joining in. Indeed, thank you. Oh, Rikia, you're bringing back memories of traveling through Vancouver, and of course too, if you know Whistler up there. For those of you that love a great view, Whistler is definitely the place for you. Egmont is another good place out there with all the taipus and everything that you can enjoy. Thank you for sharing, Rikia. I hope that you enjoy your stop in Vancouver, and definitely looking forward to seeing you back in Oakland someday. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you. How are you doing? Betty, Rikia, and of course, Marquise, thank you so much for joining us on Storytime today. Good morning to you. Oh, Sarah and Nathan, how are you doing? Still out in the loo. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope that you're enjoying your time there at camp. Thank you indeed for joining. It's a heat advisory here for the week. Oh, I hope that please do stay well, do stay safe. And yes, let's follow those guidelines so indeed that we can be okay. So we're thinking the cool thoughts. That is the way to go for sure. Always a pleasure to see you here. Thank you so much for being here. So glad that you're here indeed. Thank you. Amanda West, Nathan and Sarah joining us out from St. Louis. Thank you so much for being here and welcome to Storytime. I hope that you had a good weekend and I hope that indeed your time continues to be wonderful out there in St. Louis. Thank you so much for joining in. Oh my. Good morning to you one more time, Pamela. Courtney says it's already hot here. The kinfolk spent their time with their mom's sister the entire weekend getting truly spoiled. Oh my goodness. Braylon, Chad, next time it is a spoil fest out there, please be sure to carry me along with you. Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad, we have all these beautiful people out there that can spoil our little ones. And indeed, let them enjoy life. Let them be spoiled as it should be. Thank you so much for joining in and for sharing that. We're going to be getting started with our story for today. Lucas' special blanket. I don't know if we'll need it today because it is pretty hot in most of the areas. Even out here in Oakland, it is feeling pretty hot already. And this is only 7 o'clock, so we're in for some heat out here too. Thank you so much for joining in. Lucas' special blanket, a gift of love from Grandma. This one coming to you from Deniese, and Stella Hong. And we'll be starting with this one right after the break. Join me on the other side. Thank you indeed for joining in Storytime. So glad you are here with us this morning. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Olalu Ogunyemi, officer in the United States Marine Corps and author of Crow from the Shadow. You are tuned in with my brother on Storytime with Mr. Lamada. Enjoy and God bless.
Thank you so much for joining in. And Ola Olu, I hope that you're enjoying your vacation right now. Enjoy it. And of course, I'm sending you and the family lots and lots of love. Thank you so much for joining in. You haven't seen Ola Olu's new book, please do check it out. And that one is called Billy Dipper's Time to Shine. Indeed, a good one. All right, here we go. Lucas' special blanket, a gift of love from Grandma. And this one is written by Deniese and illustrations by Stella Hong. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And of course, a big thank you to Deniese for allowing us to share this lovely book right here on Storytime. Here we go. Lucas' special blanket, a gift of love from Grandma. Written by Deniese, illustrations by Stella. And this one is a dedication too from Deniese to all the grandmothers out there, whether by blood or by love. Thank you for knitting blankets. Oh, and for cooking good food. Yeah, and for singing the best songs. Luca's grandma lives far away on a tiny farm where she has lots of special animals. I remember my grandma's place, lots of chickens, cows, everything. Goats, pigs. Luca's grandma lives far away on a tiny farm where she has lots of special animals. Do you think we'll get to see some of them? There is a tiny three-legged dog who loves to play. A cow with only half of a horn and no tail. Whoa. And there is a cat who can't see. And best of all, there is a special sheep whose wool has lots of colors. Oh. Those sound like delightful animals. I want to see that sheep too. Luca loves visits from Gran Gran, who always wears a pink and purple jacket. She tells him all about her special animals. The sheep is his favorite. Oh. Luca is always sad when it is time for Grandma to go back to her farm. He stands with his mom and waves as she walks away. She waves back at him and blows him a kiss. Bye, Grandma. Oh. Gran Gran, he weeps. I know, honey, Mommy says. Gran Gran will be back as soon as she can. Aww. Grandma is sad to leave Luca too. When she gets home, she finds that her house feels big and quiet. Aww. She decides to make Luca a special gift. She knits him a soft, warm blanket using wool from his favorite sheep. Aww. Grandma puts the blanket in a box, wraps the box up in tissue paper, and ties it with a bow. Then she walks to the post office and sends it by special delivery. A special gift from a special someone to another special someone by special delivery. One morning, the postman arrives with something for Luca, a parcel with a note which says, "My dearest Luca, I made this blanket on my farm with wool from my sheep. When nights are cold, it will keep you warm. In each stitch is a special kiss for all the days I will miss. Love, Gran Gran." Oh, ah. Oh, I love it. Luca loves his blanket. It smells like cinnamon and warmth, and most of all, his Gran Gran. He names it Blankie. Luca and Blankie become best of friends. He takes Blankie everywhere, and together they get into lots of mischief. Aww. Sometimes they are superheroes. Aww. And sometimes Blankie is a kite. Blankie is also an excellent picnic blanket and a wonderful magic carpet. Blankie is everything. Best of all, Luca loves to hold Blankie while he sleeps. With Blankie close, Luca has magical dreams. Magical dreams of extraordinary animals and super cool machines. With Blankie close, Luca has magical dreams of extraordinary animals and super cool machines. But one morning, while Luca and Blankie are playing hide and seek with Daddy, Blankie snags on the table. Oh no. This is the beginning of a rough day for Blankie. Oh my goodness, what else happens? At lunch, Blankie's corner gets dipped into Luca's soup. Oh no. Oh, so sorry. But maybe Blankie wanted a taste of the soup too. At lunch, Blankie's corner gets dipped into Luca's soup. And then at dinner, Luca doesn't like his vegetables. Almost all the Brussels sprouts end up on Blankie. Oh no. By bath time, Blankie is looking a little dingy. And after bath time, Blankie is a little wet too. So are Mommy and Daddy. Oh. By bedtime, Blankie is dingy, fuzzy, messy, and wet. Oh my goodness. But Luca doesn't care. Blankie goes everywhere. Time for bed, Blankie, he says. But Mommy doesn't let damp and dingy Blankie into Luca's bed tonight. Nope. Oh. Instead, Blankie gets a special wash and is hung out to dry. The next day, he is given back to Luca, nice and clean. Luca is pleased to have Blankie back, but something is wrong. What could it be? What do you think? Blankie is nice and clean, but Luca thinks something's wrong. What could it be? He cuddles Blankie close to try and figure out what it could be. The Gran Gran smell is gone, he says sadly. Oh. The week after, Grandma comes for another visit. She has the special wool inside a basket and promptly sits down to repair Blankie's fuzzy bits. Aw, Grandma to the rescue. This makes Luca very happy, especially when Gran Gran makes him hot chocolate and her yummy cinnamon rolls. When Gran Gran leaves, Luca cuddles Blankie close. And is everything okay? Blankie smells just right. Aww. I love it. And that is the end of our story for today. Grandma to the rescue, and indeed for all the love and everything that grandmas represent. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for joining me on Story Time today. I hope you enjoyed it. This one is Luca's Special Blanket, coming to you from Deniese and Stella Hong. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. I hope that you enjoyed it. And this one is called Luca's Special Blanket, a gift of love from Grandma. Thank you so much for joining in. What are your memories of your grandparents? What are your memories of your grandparents? Indeed, if you had an opportunity to interact with them. And thank you so much for joining in today. I hope that you're well. For me, it is just lots and lots of fun times, good food, but also I remember with my grandma, you could not go to bed without saying a prayer. And so I always appreciated that too. It always allowed me to, even at a little age, and maybe I would not have articulated it that way at the time, but it allowed me to reflect on what sort of day I'd had and also to be thankful for that day, just be thankful to be around a special person like grandma, to be around, the special food that was around, fresh food that was being, we're getting from the garden, and all those beautiful, beautiful memories that we have. Singing together too was one of my favorite things right before bed. So absolutely love it. I hope that this book for you brings up sweet memories too, good memories too. And indeed, I hope that you continue to build even more memories right now with all the loved ones in your family. It doesn't have to be grandma alone, everybody else indeed. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely love it that we're here together sharing a wonderful book, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Please do join me again for Storytime. We're back tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. Pacific time. You can also join us for the recording at 11 a.m. Pacific time when we bring back a favorite to Storytime, Marin and Her Very Bright Star. And this one is coming from Laurie Mayer and Ethan Ruffler. Another one that has a big topic in here, love, and also, of course, great loss, but it is one that really gives us, it's a tool to be able to navigate this huge topic. And I hope that tomorrow you'll be able to join me and learn a little bit about that as well. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, as you know, Laurie Mayer is a good friend of Storytime, always indeed supporting and celebrating us. So absolutely appreciate you, Laurie. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime, everybody. I hope you enjoyed Lucas' special blanket. This one just leaves a fuzzy feeling with me. It leaves a good feeling, and I hope that you did that for you too. Let us see who was with us this morning and got to enjoy that lovely book this morning. Thank you so much. I know it is hot in places. Maybe we won't need our blankets today, but indeed for other times for sure. Thank you so much for joining in. How are you doing one more time? Sheba Chanda, thank you for joining us out in Lusaka, Zambia. Thank you for being here, and of course sending love to Benjamin as well. Thank you indeed. Ali Amin, how are you doing today out in Washington? And it seems like it is cloudy out there. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime, and glad you are here with us. Yes, sending you love back, right back at you, Jessica and Ali Amin. Thank you indeed for being here. Amanda West, and of course Sarah and Nathan, sending you love too out in St. Louis. Please be safe, and let's follow those the guidelines for that heat advisory as well. Thank you so much for joining in. Glad you are here. Pamela, Courtney, Chad, and Braylon, thank you so much for joining us. Glad you're here, and indeed always a pleasure to have you here with us on Storytime. Betty Deshay and Rikia, please enjoy your travels. Of course, Marquise, enjoy your travels, and hopefully see you soon. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime today. I hope you enjoyed that lovely book that we had here together. Thank you for joining in, everybody, and we're back again tomorrow for more Storytime. Yes, indeed. Enjoy your time out there, Rikia. Enjoy your time out in Vancouver. Thank you so much for joining in, and glad you are here. To everybody that is joining us live right now, and of course if you're joining us for the recordings later on, we're sending you love and wishing you special memories, special people in your lives, special moments, just like Luca and Gran Gran and Blankie had in this wonderful book that we read today. But please do join us tomorrow again when we bring back another special book, Marin and Her Very Bright Star. And this one is a story of resiliency, coming to you from Laurie Mayer, and illustrations by Ethan Ruffler. Join us for that one tomorrow, and sending you love and nothing but the very best of wishes, the very warmest of wishes. Thank you for being here today on Storytime. And indeed to just wanted to mention as well that it is Pride Month, and yesterday there was an unfortunate event where a friend was the day before, actually on Saturday, a friend was reading out story time, and they're a drag queen, and some people came in and tried to cause trouble, and to a point of, like, it was really scary for our friend, and but everything in the end was okay. But we just want to continue saying and really condemning the violence, hate, and people that perpetuate a world that is not tolerant, a world that is not accepting, are not people that we want to be associated with, and we absolutely condemn that. And we wish our friend the very best, sending them love. We're not even going to be mentioning those people's names. We're just mentioning our friend here. We love you, and we hope that you are okay. And indeed, I hope that the authorities do something about that, those people that caused all that disturbance and all that trouble, including threatening violence. It is not accepted. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Thought we should share that message. Please go to the Storytime platforms and see what story we're talking about, and of course, see in ways in which you can support our friend, even if it's just send a message of hello and wish them well. Because yes, this world can be cruel, but we're here together, building communities that accept, building communities that love, and building communities that indeed come together, especially at times like this. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Glad we were here together. I will definitely see you again tomorrow for more Storytime. Much love from me, and see you in the morning. Bye-bye.
Storytime with Mr. Lumada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite style. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.